Hey, everybody, welcome to Pucking Around. Okay, we got a pretty good show for you this week. We are going to talk about just shit around the league, about teams, about whatever we feel like for that. We're going to talk about there's some problems in some of the locker rooms, some rumors, and then there's some talk from players. So we're going to talk about what problems there are for, I believe there's 4 teams we're going to talk about. And then, since it's the halfway point of the season, we're going to do some second half predictions for the awards that are given out at the end of the season and see if we can predict correctly who's going to win that. And with me to do that, I'm going to introduce them soon. Bucking Around podcast starts now. Whatever you do, don't expose yourself.
All right, do you have the yips? Like, I don't know. Like,
this has gone off the rails.
I'll give you a round of fisticuffs.
I'm a man of the people. I follow the rules.
yeah.
All right, so I got with me my usual co-hosts. To that side of me is Cam. Say hi, Cam.
What's going on, everybody?
On top of me there is Alex from the Fly. By the way, Cam is from the High Brew Nation podcast. Check it out. From the Flyer Gonna Flyer a podcast. Above me there is Alex.
Almost us, everyone.
And then over that way, up there in the corner, my co-host from Hab Normals, and that is Matt Norton.
What it do?
All right. So, I think am I introducing the first segment? All right. So we're going to talk about stuff from around the league to start with. Just general stuff. Whatever we feel is going on, maybe teams that are surging, teams that are falling, how the refs are doing, stuff like that. And I'm going to pick Mr. Cam over there to actually lead us off with that.
Rick, refs, your favorite topic, buddy. I feel like you can't go an episode without mentioning how poorly or how well they are. Like,
I'm addicted to refs,
dude. I just don't think you can get out of your own way with that shit, buddy. Like, it's crazy.
It's my downfall.
Love to chirp them, buddy.
That or gambling talk.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
Yes.
That's like politics, dude. You can't bring that up in this chat with Rick.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, you can't do it. We don't touch that with the 10-foot pole. No, it's crazy. It's been kind of like an unexpected season if you think about it. Like, if you look at the East standings, everything is super, super tight, man. Like, several teams fighting for a playoff spot. I mean, Buffalo's 10 points out from the first wild card. That's kind of crazy. 9 points out of the second wild card, and you just have, and that's your last place team, right? And and then the place after that is the Flyers in 9th, and they're only 5 points, Alex,
6.
out of a playoff spot?
6,
No,
I think.
They're 5.
Oh, right. 6 from the wild card 1.
Yes, and 6 from wild card 1. So, I mean, It is a tight race. And then, you look at the West, you're starting to see separation there. They have, I would probably say, 3 of the worst teams in the NHL, being the Predators, Sharks, and Blackhawks. But it's still an exciting season. Like, you can't go on a losing streak of substance. You know what I mean? It's wild. But that's just the league in general, guys. But, you guys might feel the same way with me on this, is that the Capitals are at the top of the league. It is currently a
Vegas today, actually.
It's a 3-way tie right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think so.
In terms of points. But yes, you're absolutely right. Vegas, by, I believe it's row number, they have it.
No, they have regulation wins. Vegas is 26. Washington is 24. They're actually tied in points and games played.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, Vegas has the row number over the Capitals, but you still got to look at that and be like, wow, because I don't think many of us or even many individuals had that at all. That Washington is as high as they are.
No,
it's crazy.
Highs of the year.
No, yeah.
And Ovechkin with the fountain of youth, he's breaking that record. This season. I'm gonna go off and say I was dead wrong. I don't think he misses it. He's gonna break it.
March 20th. Mark the date.
Oh, it might be sooner.
You saying he's going to break it on March 20th?
March 20th against the Flyers. He's going to break it in Washington. Mark the date.
Could happen.
He's, I think, 20 more right now.
I think we already
Could
marked
happen.
it. Dude, we said that before though. Like it mark that date, dude. Like I posted that on our Twitter and I was like, yo, Alex said mark the date. And if that is it, dude, I don't know. Maybe I'll take some advice from you on where to place wagers.
I think that's, you know what, that may not be that early. I feel that's a
Only
little
2
bit
weeks,
early
2 months
for
from
it,
now.
but it might not be. It's not. It's toward the end of March.
Especially because
you
you
know
know they're going to feed him with empty netters too, so that'll help elevate the number a little
He
bit.
got one the other night, I think, too. Yeah. He got a shot block and then went down the ice and got it. I mean, I think it was Spit and Chicklets that put out the stats that he's already going to be the first guy probably in the 900 goal club. That's going to be for sure. He'll hit 900. Once you hit 894, and you have a whole nother season that you're going to play, you're going to break 900.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he'll break 900 this season. That one might be, I think, a bit of a stretch.
Okay, but the question more is: do you think that his record could ever be broken?
Yes.
Yes, there is a possibility. I mean, I know you don't like him, Rick, but we have to bring up Austin Matthews, and this year is not a year for him. But prior to this year, he was looking on pace to break it. But I think once that team starts to settle down, he himself won't carry him to that.
Okay.
But
Matthews, I mean, health is going to be an issue because look.
Yes, currently.
I mean, he can't stay healthy, and he's got
that knee.
Yeah, so health might be an issue. I listen. I don't like Matthews, but I mean, obviously, I'm not an idiot. The numbers are what they are. Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't really want to admit it, but what are you gonna do?
He said this is an injury. He's not going to be 100% from this year. He didn't have the tone of something that said this is going to be a career-altering injury, but it's something that he's going to need rest, potentially a procedure or a surgery done later in the offseason.
Watch. I'm getting a voodoo doll. I'm getting a voodoo doll of him, and I'm sticking pins in that knee.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
You can't wish ill will.
I wouldn't be surprised if playing through like a meniscus tear or a partial tear in ligaments. I would be very shocked if he's not playing through something like that. He knows that if he were to get surgery now, he'd miss most, if not all, of the season. So
I can wish him ill will.
He probably got a cortisone shot or something to just keep him going until April or May, most likely late April. It's about when his first round.
You know when's he expected back? Do you know?
He's been playing here and there. Yeah.
No, he's out right now, isn't he?
He played, I think, a couple games, and then and I don't know if he's active at the moment, but yeah, I think they're going to nurse that.
Back again permanently.
I don't know if it's permanent, but I know he's been playing here and there. I don't follow the Leafs enough to warrant that. I know they're ahead of the Bruins in the standings, and so is in Tampa Bay, and so I really don't want to discuss about it, but yeah, it's a trigger for me at present.
What did you say at the beginning of the show, Cam? Teams can't really go on losing streaks of substance.
I did. They can't. They really can't. No, it's true. Because look where Montreal is. I'm gonna even say them. Like Montreal is fucking surging, dude. I
think as of right now, we're a game out of the second wild card spot. 2 points.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You and a bunch of other teams.
By the way, can we just appreciate that picture of Rick real quick as he just went off camera?
Yep.
Do you see it? Do you see that? Like, are you hyped up on some shit?
Hey, listen, that's when I was really handsome when I was younger, okay?
Buddy, if that's handsome, I'd hate to see what ugly looks like for you. If that's what you call handsome.
It's before
you're
the
just
operation.
as bald then as you are now.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that, buddy? Like,
I was making a funny face and took a picture, and I kind of liked it. I'll use that for certain things. That's got to be 12 years ago, about 11, 12 years ago.
Bald.
Yeah, bald. What? What happened? I missed something. What? You've never seen SpongeBob?
I have. I try to forget.
It's a meme from the show. I think it was.
No, it's from the movie.
Yeah,
I
was
try
the
to
movie
forget.
when the king of something comes to have
King Neptune.
SpongeBob
Because we're men.
save his daughter, and they
Because
just
we're
goes,
men.
Now that we're men.
when he takes his hat off, and then one random fish just screams, "Bye!"
Does he ever stop talking at all?
I don't
No,
think he does.
No. Okay.
Alex, no. We know.
Oh,
that.
Lordy, you're one to talk about having a motor mount.
Oh God,
It's
yeah,
one
but
of
that's
those
different.
episodes,
That's
people.
But that's
It's
different.
one of
That's
those.
after he's had a couple drinks in him. Like, you know what I mean? That's
I
when
can't
Gordy doesn't
imagine.
shut the fuck up.
That's
But
all
he
I'm
also
watching.
talks to the floor.
Or cocaine. Can you imagine?
If
Oh,
Alex
we don't
ever
know
took
drug
cocaine,
use
I'm
in
moving
children.
countries. Because I feel like his voice would just echo through
Oh my god.
every street in Massachusetts, in every state in the United States. I would just need to get the fuck out of here if he just was on some, I don't know, upper. I would need to get out of here.
He
It's
doesn't
too
need
crazy.
uppers. He's high on life.
No, he doesn't. Montreal's high on life. Dude, good for you guys. As a Bruins fan, I mean, I hate Montreal. I'm supposed to.
I sense some sarcasm there.
No, you guys are. Hey, listen, I have said vehemently that the league is always better when the Bruins, the Blackhawks, the Rangers, the Leafs, in Montreal, any of the original 6 teams, when there's at least 70% of them that are performing and they are
Scratch the
competitive.
Blackhawks from that.
I'm guessing the Rangers and Blackhawks didn't get the memo.
Yeah, just scratch the Blackhawks.
They suck. The Blackhawks suck.
I want to
Rangers right
get
now,
on the
too.
Blackhawks real quick. Can we talk about this? Is anyone else starting to get Sabre-esque vibes from their rebuild? I know it's still technically early.
Too early.
But this has been here's the thing. This has been a couple years in. And this is what you got Connor Bedard.
A couple of years in. That's it. It's too early to start saying that.
It's been probably about, what is this, year 3 or 4 now?
No. I think you could argue now that they're building up after having Bedard. I would say this is year 2.
Me too. I would say
this is year 2. This
I
is
would say
year 3.
I'd say year 2 because
I would say but they were bad before that.
Yeah,
but that doesn't matter because I
stripped
think
the team to get Bedard. Then once they got Bedard, the rebuild starts.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Rick here. I think your rebuild starts when you find your player that you build around. Like, so I would have argued that, like, Slav, like you could argue that, that's when Montreal's rebuild technically started, but or Cole Caulfield, you can argue
they started when they got Nick Suzuki.
Not Caulfield.
No,
Caulfield came
Suzuki's
from the
cool.
previous management. It's not Caulfield. It's rebuild started with the trade of Toffoli to Calgary.
Yeah,
I thought it started when Weber and Price retired.
No, it started with the trade of Toffoli to Calgary once Kent Hughes got here.
Yeah, I would agree.
We're officially at 3 years. I believe he's here 3 years, Kent Hughes now. So it's officially we're 3 years done.
Well, my point being, when I look at Chicago, you got not a lot, but some talent for Bedard to work with. You got a Teravainen, Taylor Hall's back from injury. You got a Tyler Bertuzzi. They've got some okay forwards for him to work with.
But that's not part of the rebuild. The part of the rebuild is drafting Bedard, drafting Lucic.
It's not, but you're still looking to see some level of progression. And, I like Bedard a lot. I thought he was going to take more of a step this year. Don't get me wrong. I still think he's going to be a long-time superstar in this league. Yeah. But call me crazy if I'm a little underwhelmed by him this season. I really am.
I think most people are.
He's still only, 20?
I understand 19? That, but this kid was getting hype levels of Connor McDavid when he was in the draft.
Yeah, but every kid is different. You give him a few years before you say he's.
I still think he's going to be a superstar. I'm not saying that. I still think he's going to be a top 5 player in the league when he hits his prime. All I'm saying is, I with the talent that they got Bedard around him, I thought Chicago would have took another step, and I thought Bedard would have showed me more.
I don't think so because they still have the same problems on defense. They still don't have Korchinski up in the major leagues for he still predominantly plays in the minors, and they're still looking for those stud defensemen. They don't have a goaltender.
Goaltending is a problem.
Yeah,
Mrazek's probably one of the few good defensemen that they have.
Yeah, Mrazek is a shitstorm. I mean, they just got a new coach, so
it's so inconsistent.
So it's like I would still say like they're probably in year 2, so they're going to be looking for a goaltender. They're going to be looking for a defenseman. They're probably going to try and get out of that Seth Jones contract, or they're going to find a way that they possibly can. And I'm not surprised where Chicago is. I didn't have them much higher than where they are.
I didn't have them. I'm not even really talking about a generalization of the team, where they are in the standings. I just thought, I guess you could really say it's more circled around Bedard. I thought he'd have more of a step forward this year. He's still been good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's had a really bad season, but like when you look at his numbers right now, he had a run where he just couldn't score a goal for like 12 or 13 games. 43 games, he's got 38 points. That's about the pace he was on last year. I think he had 61 in 67 games last year. He hasn't taken the step I thought he was gonna. And you can argue they have more talent this year than last.
No, there's no argument. There's no argument.
Jinx. Maybe that's his version of a sophomore.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm really coming towards when it comes to Chicago. I thought Bedard would have taken another step and he'd be like a 90-point guy this year. And he seems like he's going to be closer to like a 70, 75.
You're out of your mind,
like,
bro.
I think you are.
He's on
Are
pace
you
for
sure
almost
you're not
80
on
points
drugs
right now for a 20-year-old in his second season.
He's not on pace for 80
good.
points. He's got 38 and 43 games. It's about a 70-point pace.
Yeah, but you never know because he could go off at any moment.
I'm not saying he's bad. No one is saying that. I know how I still think he's going to be a top 5 player in this league. My point is, with all the hype this kid got, I thought he was going to take that big step forward to being past a point per game guy this year. That's all.
I don't know. I think he's living up to his hype. I think he is. I think. I mean, what? Bertuzzi? Sure. I mean,
Taylor Hall.
Taylor
Hall. Some talent there. It's not like
but I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't call it needle moving talent. Like, Taylor Hall's good, but like
it's really not. Like, and no, to your point, Kim, I agree. Good. Taylor Hall's kind of a shell of himself now. He's not really the Taylor Hall that like was with Boston that kind of rejuvenated a little bit.
I don't think he is.
Oh, for cutting you off, but I thought you made a good point.
I still think he's a second line player, but I don't know. I thought Bedard would have taken that leap to being like an 85, 90-point guy this year is what I'm saying. Not having a bad year, but he had like a 12-13 team run where he didn't get a goal. And then he finally broke it.
I don't see how.
Is it not warranted? Because the guy had 61 points in, I think, 67 or 68 games last year. This is about the pace he was on last year. That's all. But like I said, as I said earlier, I think Chicago, I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're going to compete. They should be competing for a playoff spot. I'm just saying Chicago has more talent than they did last season. And I think I thought he'd take more of a step. That's all.
But you know a good comparison to that is though Boston, because they're more talented, at least on paper, than they were last year. And look at the struggles that all those players are having. The Bruins, like the third place person in scoring for Boston has 10 goals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tie. Like, you know what I mean? Arguably, but like that's what a lot of Boston fans said. On paper, they're more talented. You would anticipate, players to like, Pastrnak to continue to be on his 100-point pace, right? But he's not. And other like bringing in Lindholm, a guy who's creative, like you would have expected him to help and get people to finish. Like you don't bring in Lindholm to score, you bring him to get the assists and go into those areas to fetch the puck. And he hasn't lived up to that yet. And will he? Hopefully.
Are you worried about Lindholm?
No, I'm not. I'm
you
not.
said that a little too quickly.
No, I'm not. I'm genuinely not. I've said this on several times. He's also doing a good job as a two-way forward. I like what they brought him in to do as a two-way forward. Like that's what I want. Like he's a good defensive player. He's making passes. It's just no one on the fucking team can finish. If you guys watch the games, like we're missing open nets. We're hitting posts.
It's not even that, Cam. Too. Like I feel like there's times no one just wants to shoot the puck.
Exactly.
Right? Like that's the problem with the special teams. Like I'm like, there's nobody wants to shoot anymore. Like what?
Yeah, it's more it's not so much that like the Bruins don't have the talent, and I'm sorry to take away from the Blackhawks. We'll recircle back to that, but it's just like if they actually shot the puck, then you would probably be saying something different about the entire makeup of the Boston Bruins right now. But I think that's a good comparison to Chicago, because just because on paper you appear very talented, it doesn't, or more talented, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to translate to, the team gelling well, or maybe the system isn't working.
So, I mean, look at it. Like the Nashville Predators too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at what Nashville's like. I think the third worst team in the league.
They signed a lot of bad contracts this year,
and they traded for Justin Barron.
Oh my God! You know what? I'm willing to say this. I don't think the Stamkos contract's the worst one they signed. Have you seen Brady Shea? What the hell happened to this guy? Awful. I thought he was a stud in Carolina. But he was eating second pairing minutes, so he wasn't holding as big of a role. When you have guys like Dmitry Orlov and Brett Burns eating up first pairing minutes, it kind of takes a little bit of pressure off you and having a good line mate like Brett Pesce. But in Nashville, the guy's a shell of himself.
Saros isn't helping. Saros isn't helping either, and I think that Saros contract isn't looking so hot either right now.
Shea's brought in to be in it as an offensive defenseman. He's got, last I looked, I think it was 2 days ago, he had 13 points. 13. That's horrible. The guy's getting paid almost $8 million a year, and he's got 13 points as an offensive defenseman. That's bad.
No, I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you there. Actually, you know what? I would probably say the Nashville Predators are more of a comparison to Chicago. They got a lot more talent. Marchessault, Stamkos, everybody said that they won free agency, right? Guys, like, tell me I'm wrong.
I mean,
we all said that.
And they still got guys like Yossi, Forsberg. Like, there was also talent on that team. Yeah.
And they just can't. They're not figuring it out. But what Barry Trotz is doing, people were saying, fire the coach, reset the system. He's overhauling the roster, and I'm actually starting to look at Barry Trotz. Like, and he was a phenomenal coach. But right now, I'm looking at that. I'm just like, you're electing. You paid all these players. So why are you looking to overhaul the roster yet again when it's clearly they're not performing to the system that the head coach has? Could it be that the head coach just isn't working in Nashville? Likely. I'd believe that. But, I'm going to give Stamkos and Marchessault a lot of credit. They're very talented players. Stamkos has a lot of miles, but to Alex's point, you bring in a guy like Brady Shea, and it's just like, you should be better than you are. You signed Saros, who's a very, very good goaltender, and they're just not performing up to snuff. You know what I mean?
Can we talk about the fact that I think the better move would have been to run with Askarov, who got sent over to San Jose, who's the best goalie prospect in hockey and has looked phenomenal over there?
Yep.
That trade is something I think they're going to regret for a long time. And it's not a knock on Saros, because he is still a good goalie. Don't get me wrong.
It's not Saros.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. My point is, you could have had the younger goalie with the potentially higher ceiling for a much longer amount of time,
and probably could have sold him for higher. Could have had higher value for him too if you gave him.
You could have traded Saros and got another good package.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I didn't understand that at all.
If you were good,
they're scouting. Well, I apologize, Kim.
No, go ahead.
Bro, I was gonna say too. Like their scouting department, there's
awful
problems there, and we know this now for a fact because of the Barron trade. Like, whoever was scouting the Habs for the Predators,
that was a fleece.
I don't know what happened. They did something. Either they got confused with who he was, or they just didn't scout him properly, because
they got confused. They thought he was they thought it was somebody else. That's what I heard.
It's a shame though if you think about it. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but it really is a shame because Nashville's a hockey town, dude. They're a big sports town. Like, you would really hope that you would want to see like that team make a step. I don't hate anybody on the Predators. They're a team that I actually really enjoy watching. If Colorado wasn't my second favorite team, they might be very much up there. They might be number 4 on my list with how they play. I've always liked them. It's hard to find them. It's hard.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, hard to find a guy you don't like.
I love the Kings, and I love Drew Doughty. That's probably my second.
Justin Barron's on the Predators now. That's one guy.
Yeah, I can.
I love Drew Doughty's "fuck you" attitude. Absolutely.
Do you remember when Keandre Miller spat at him?
I will fuck you up. I will beat the fuck out of you.
I literally, I saw that live. I was like, oh my God, he's going to commit a hate crime. Like his eyes just bulged.
Dude, Aaron doesn't have any teeth. He doesn't give a shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Why would you do that to him? I don't know.
Your dad's a scary motherfucker.
Yeah, him and Brent Burns, I'm all set. They look like they could pick me up and be like, go to sleep.
Brent Burns has that lumberjack out in the woods vibes who fucking bench presses tree trunks.
Yep.
Drew Doughty has that I don't want to meet you in a dark alley vibes because you'll bend me over and turn me into a pretzel.
He'll fucking kill you is what he'll do.
Why would he have to bend you over to turn you into a pretzel? You were going somewhere else with that. You were going somewhere else with that. Admit it.
You took that too literally.
Well, you said it. All right, are we gonna move on?
No, we're not. We're having a conversation.
We're not done.
Let the conversation flow, boo boo.
I'm just wondering. No,
I'm gonna take the talking stick away from you, and I'm just gonna beat you with it every time. You're like, let's move on. Like, aren't you having fun? Have fun.
I might
have fun here, Rick.
I might like it.
I got a topic. Argument, not argument, but a little curiosity for everyone. Or question. So Mike Bartner put out a video a couple days ago that rated the top 10 worst contracts in the NHL. I'm not going to go fully into depth. It's more of a question for everyone. Who do you guys think has the worst contract in hockey? Who? Everyone use that music to think. Opportunities galore. There's a lot of bad ones out there.
I did say Seth Jones.
I don't.
Seth Jones is definitely up there.
It's up there, but it's not the worst to me.
Oh, is this to you or there was an official?
This is a question to everyone. Thank everyone.
No,
there's some bad ones.
Was there an official list though, or?
So he made a list, but there was some I agree with, some I didn't.
Let's go.
But so his number one is probably the one I agree with. This is who I probably would have number one is Jonathan Huberdeau. He's making $10.5 million a year.
It's a good shout.
It's a good one.
And probably is about maybe a 60-ish point guy right now. Not a bad player, but he's not a $10.5 million a year guy. He's more like a 6.5, 6.5, I'd say.
I'd contest. The only thing that would contest me with Huberdeau is just the state of Calgary and like where they are as a team. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't, because Huberdeau was a performer down in Florida. Like I'd say he is worth the cut, but he's not that guy that elevates, the rest of the players around you. But he is a touted scorer. He is a performer. I just think Calgary is just a hot flaming mess. So that's definitely reflecting to some degree. But yeah,
aren't they in the playoffs?
They're not right now. They're close though. But here's the thing: when it came to Huberdeau, he banked off of one incredible year in Florida. He was never that type of guy before that one big year. He had over 110 points in Florida. It brought his value up. Calgary bid on that, and they got him and Uyghur for the Tkachuk trade. Which
that was a fun trade. Yeah,
Calgary's tied with Boston.
It's not like Huberdeau had bad line mates when he was in Calgary at some points. Like he was playing with Johnny Gaudreau. He played with Elias Lindholm, who everyone, was hyping up until who, in my opinion, went on his downward spiral, but that's my opinion. Who's also on the list, by the way. And then he's also played with other talent too. Mackenzie Uyghur joined him over there. He's a good defenseman.
Wait. When did Huberdeau play on Calgary with Johnny Gaudreau?
He played there in Gaudreau's final year there.
Yes, he did.
It was at Gaudreau's final year. He was there. They're on the same team. I think the trade happened in 2022. Gaudreau went there in 2023.
I believe so, yeah. Huberdeau, by the way, his career, he has 872 games played and 751 points. I don't know.
Bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not 10.5.
It's I don't know. It's hard because I do attribute a lot of that to Calgary just not being where they need to be, and they're not doing the things that they need to do. That's I think yes, that is a number one that is up there. I do. I agree with that. You know what I mean? He's definitely on the list. The only reason why I say Seth Jones is because of
Seth Jones was on his list too. I think he had him 8, if I remember correctly.
It's
still a good pick.
The only reason why I have him at number 1 is because just solely because of who he was in Columbus and then what happened when he got to Chicago. Granted, Chicago's also a hotter mess than Calgary, but man, you brought Jones in there to do a lot of good, and he's done nothing. At least Huberdeau's doing something.
Can I say something here?
No.
If Calgary is such a hot mess, what's Boston? Because they're tied.
That was a chip. That was a little jab.
2 different conferences.
I will say.
Okay, that's your answer. Okay.
What do you want me to say? We also beat Calgary when we had them. So yeah, I don't know. It's 2 different conferences, and I'd say the East is more competitive.
That I gotta say, Dustin.
No, that absolutely 1,000% came. 1,000%. East has been a lot of fun to watch.
It's a cop out.
I mean, when you get to play Chicago and Nashville and the Kraken, 3 or 4 times each. Those are what?
The cop out.
Well, yeah, okay. Anaheim. That's 12 games. That matters a lot.
Cop out response.
That's a legitimate response.
I don't know. My question was legitimate.
You have to play Florida, Tampa.
Also, Calgary has 4 games in hand, so I think
jerk me.
Legitimate.
Yeah, you guys have played the most teams in the NHL, haven't you?
Just saying, All right.
Blow me, Rick.
Silence is golden.
Another team
I suck. You hear that, people? He said I suck.
That wasn't me. That was the audience.
You played it though.
No, I don't do that.
We don't have an audience, so.
There's another team I kind of want to hype up a little bit before we move on.
Is it Philadelphia?
No, it is not. Good. But we'll talk about what happened with them in Anaheim later. Don't you worry. I got something special for that.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
I saw some of the clips.
The Detroit Red Wings, 7 in a row they've won. I still think it's the Yzer scam. But what are we attributing this to? Detroit looks good right now. They're like Montreal and like Ottawa, only 2 points out of that final playoff spot. They're in this suddenly. They caught fire.
Frauds. They're frauds. They're gonna come out and they're just good. I don't think they're gonna make any note of it, dude. They're frauds. I'd like nothing more than to see, like I said, original 6 teams performing well. I think the league is much better for it. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a belch. There's nothing more than I love to see, and I think it's a better league, but I think they're frauds. Ville Husso is just not it. They're cycling through goaltenders. Their offense should be high powered. They have Tarasenko and they have Kane and they have Kreider, Brinkett. They have high power. Lucas Raymond. They have high powered offense. Don't get me wrong, but I'm very concerned of their defensive depth, their offensive depth. So what was that?
Their goaltending is
it's really, really, really bad. And I would put goaltending, and I would put depth on the offense, and I would also put depth at the defense with issues with them. And I think what they're doing,
especially on defense, because really, after Moritz Cedars, I mean, Petrie's a veteran presence, but after those 2 guys, it's really nothing there.
I brought this up to Eric on our live stream on Saturday night. Why the hell did Yzerman trade Wallman for a bag of pucks? What was that? That trade was so bad in the offseason.
I just want to know what happened to your voice.
That ain't when I'm frustrated at people doing stupid things. I go back to 14-year-old voice me. Yeah, and it angers me.
Puberty alert.
I thought I was going to get slide. I had PTSD from Figure It Out. I like Danny Temporelli for a second.
Every time he starts talking.
No, in all seriousness. Okay, come on. Now it's getting overplayed. I went along with it for a minute. But that Wallman's a good defenseman. I don't understand why they gave him up for pennies like that. And he's actually been serviceable for San Jose. One of the few good D-men they do have. What was the point of that trade? This is why I still call the Yzer plan the Yzer scam. Listen, I like the way Detroit's playing right now, but that trade still irks me.
Listen, Eric Brandstrom, Vancouver placed him on waivers yesterday. I'm surprised no team took a bid at him. Like, yeah, he had down time, like very down years in Ottawa when they were shit. That could have impacted his development. And Vancouver's kind of defensively a mess at the current moment, and they can't really afford, in my mind, many more contracts with how their current structure is. So I'm genuinely surprised that no one wanted to take a swing at him. He's 25 years old, left defenseman, and like I think Moritz Seider is a right shot defenseman, and you could have got a good, I think, offensive defenseman or maybe a little bit of a project to go alongside him. You have money, I believe. So
yeah,
I
think the problem with that is probably waivers. If you pick up a guy on waivers, he's got to stay with your team the whole season.
I just didn't understand.
I don't know. I can't speak to that, but it's just something interesting. Like, still take a flyer on the guy, dude. Just take the flyer on him.
Yeah, you're taking a flyer on you're going to take a flyer on a guy if you don't think he's going to possibly make it the whole season. He's taking up a roster spot.
Cool. Yeah, with what their roster, their defensive roster is what? Simone Edvinsson, Albert Johansson, Moritz Seider, Ben Sherratt. Yeah, like, oh, it's scary. Like Justin Hull, Jeff Petrie, who's on IR. You're telling me that 25-year-old can't outplay one of those fuckers? Like, I don't know. I would have taken a flyer on it.
How much is his contract?
Only $975,000, and you have $6 million in cap.
Might be a reason why. I mean, if no team took a flyer on that, I don't know.
I'm pissed. The Rangers got Arthur Kaleyev. I was screaming for Don Sweeney. I'm like, go get that left-handed shot, dude. But whatever. What are you gonna do?
But the Rangers were lower in the standings. They probably had first option on that.
They would, yes.
So if they put a claim, you might have put a claim.
He wasn't. Yeah, I guarantee you, he wasn't going to make it to where Boston was. Someone was going to claim him.
There you go. What can Boston do? You can scream all you want.
No, I know, but guys can dream. Yes, Alex, you have a question, sir.
The Flyers just scored. Can we play the Flyers goal song? Just. Thank you.
There you go, Alex. That was for you. I wouldn't do it for anybody else.
I killed it with the dead cow sound.
Yeah, good. He doesn't deserve to celebrate.
What?
He doesn't deserve to celebrate. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Let's move on to the second topic, guys. Problems in NHL locker rooms, because there are, excuse me, there are a lot of rumors circulating around 4 teams in particular. But in general, and the 4 teams predominantly are Vancouver, Boston, Anaheim, and New York.
Rangers.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I forgot they have fucking. They have 3 technically. Buffalo, even though they're outside.
But they're not the New York Buffaloes.
God, no,
New York Sabres.
You suck. Like just. Oh my God.
I suck tonight. Apparently.
Oh my God.
What do I suck? I'm afraid to ask.
Nerd alert. Yeah, the New York Rangers. But I don't know. Outside of those 4 teams, do you guys feel like maybe you could say Nashville?
I don't think they have locker room.
There's a lot of problems down in Nashville. I
don't think there's locker room issues there. I just think that their general manager just buried them into a 12-foot hole, and it's a bunch of older guys that are just along for the ride. I don't think they hate each other in Nashville. You want to talk about locker room issues? I think Vancouver and Anaheim are the 2 most guilty parties in this. Like, I don't know if there's any real truth to what happened with Boston, because Rich Keefe kind of jumped the gun a bit on his report, and Brad Marchand tore him a new asshole, deservingly so. And,
but what else is Marchand going to do?
I mean, yeah, but Marchand
just said
no comment or next question.
Look him in the face.
Give one of those to kind of plead the fifth. He wholeheartedly denied it. There's been issues like with Pedersen and JT
Look him in the face
when they don't really deny it. What did you say?
I said that's the solution to everything. Lick him in the face. Just lick his nose.
Alexander Burrows approved.
No, he bit Bergeron. He didn't lick him. He bit him. Fucking scum.
But back to the point, like with Vancouver, that's a team that has a locker room issue. They're the new OTL merchants, by the way. Congratulations for stealing that title from the Isles. Golf clap for you. But,
sorry, Alex, but to add to that, like their locker room issue is predominantly surrounding JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. Like that is their issue.
Yeah,
but
like that's their biggest cancer.
Or two of your three.
I'd argue there. Sorry, Matt. I'll say this real quick, and then I got you. I think it goes in terms of like worst to like not as bad as we could possibly think. Is that it's definitely Anaheim is the worst.
Oh yeah,
the New York Rangers. I'm going to say the New York Rangers got to be right behind them with just because of what Chris Drury is doing, and that's going to cause a lot of problems.
I'm actually going to I'm going to debate that. I think Vancouver's worse. I don't think the Rangers hate each other. They just hate their general manager. So I don't know.
No, but it's causing rifts. My point. It's causing huge rifts because you got to imagine these players are probably playing with massive anxiety and they don't want to play there and they've just lost it and like no one cares. At least in Vancouver, I think they care. It's just I would just say the issue in Vancouver is between two players, and then the issues in Boston are just genuinely unknown. It's there's a locker room issue in Boston,
between players, between players with Anaheim and New York, it's definitely between players and the coach and the GM.
Yeah, I think Anaheim.
That was going to be my point. Yeah, like when you look at these four teams, I think absolutely, Rick. Anaheim and the Rangers are really mainly inflicted by management, whereas you look at Vancouver, obviously they're two star players.
Actually, and Anaheim,
Boston is true again. Two of the star players there, right? So they're different dynamics. You know what I mean?
I'll just contest that one thing with Anaheim is that I don't think it's just management. It's management, coach, and the players.
That's not what I'm hearing.
I think it's all three because none of them want to show up. None of them want to do anything.
Because the coach
and it's
screams all the time and is negative all the time. That's what I heard.
He's torched on steroids, except he's not fair.
Anaheim, it's the coaching and the management, and I mean that's been talked about by former players. Like, it's not that it's not a player problem. Like, just nobody wants to play there because it's the shittily run.
They don't want to go to work. They don't want to go to the rink.
Yeah. I want to talk about something with Anaheim real quick that just absolutely boggled my mind when they played us on
Cutter Gauthier again.
No, this actually has to do with their coach. Yes, Cutter Gauthier sucks. Fuck him. But that's not what I was gonna bring up. Their coach called a timeout with 10 minutes to go, down 6-0. Why? What was the point of that?
That reminds
getting molested. Why did you wait until then?
Not use that word.
Could have used a better term. Could have used any other term. Literally any other term.
They're getting their ass. My point is, they're getting their ass kicked. They're getting bent over backwards and just taken to the roundhouse all over the rink. The Flyers dominated all 60 minutes of that game. And they wait until they're down 6-0. Halfway through the third period to call a timeout.
You know what that reminds me of?
There's a logical reason why they would do that.
I couldn't tell you.
Coach is an idiot.
Do you know what that reminds me of, Alex? Matt and Rick will remember this, but back a few years when Ottawa was in the playoffs, when they were playing Montreal, do you remember when they just would not stop fighting?
Yeah.
And I can't remember who the Ottawa coach was at the time, but he called the timeout, and Michel Therrien was livid, like freaking screaming, like, "Why would you do that? The game's already over." Blah, 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 blah. And the guy is screaming back saying, like, I'm trying to calm everybody down. And it's just like, you're right. There might be no point, but I don't know. The only explanation is the coach is an idiot. You don't call a timeout when it's 6-0 down and you're in the third period to try and be like, guys, we need to stop the bleeding. You do that when they score 2 goals on like 6 shots or something like that.
Maybe then.
They have talent. They just...
I got to say something.
Go ahead, Rick.
Michel Therrien, not terrain, because terrain, that means land in French, just to let you know.
Oh, trust me, he scorched earth, that motherfucker. Let me tell you, like that was. I
don't remember that fully, but I sort of do. Okay, Alex, go ahead. I just wanted to throw that in.
No, I mean that's really it. It's just that coach needs to be fired.
But apparently they're not. They said they're not firing the coach, but that's what needs to be done. And that's why I think management needs to go too. It's a management coach problem.
I'm about to say, Briere, call Anaheim and see what you can offer for McTavish, because that team just looks.
You're not going to get rid of They're not going to get rid of McTavish.
They're not getting rid of him.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of him.
That team's stupid enough. I mean, if you guys have guys that want out, which could eventually happen, I'm not saying it's realistic, but he's having a down year there. Why not?
I think the coach has some pictures on the GM.
He's going to stay there another year. You got to think.
It's like blackmail.
He's porking the owner's wife.
Something like that. He's got pictures, and he ain't getting fired because of that. You know,
he's like all fucked up.
You remember?
Maybe that's what's happening in Nashville. Maybe that's.
Remember the bench warmers scene when they give the slip for that old dude to play on the team that says "I am 12" with the 20. He sends them a slip that says "Keep me hired." It just has the blackmail picture he has.
Yeah, of him like porking the owner's wife or something like that. I don't know, or him snorting some snow up his nose or whatever. I don't know, dude. It's definitely something. I don't know why they love that guy. You know, I'm going to add a team to the list. I'm going to say Buffalo. It's the same dynamic as I would say with New York and Anaheim.
It's different though.
Their management and coach is just not there.
Okay, but wait, it's different.
It's not management's fault. The Pagulas basically made the GM job like useless.
It's the ownership. It's different there because I think if it was good owners, those guys wouldn't be in place. They'd have proper guys there. So to me, it's the owners.
Well, it's not even just that. Every move they do has to be okayed by Kim Pagula.
The owner has to go.
He can't do anything.
Yeah.
Pagula must go. Save them from that terrorist organization. That's all I have to say. You know my feelings on that.
Alex has used two key trigger words today: molested and terrorist.
We've called them terrorists 100 times.
I'm going to make a meme out of Alex, and it's just going to be him with his mouth wide open, just screaming with his fist in the air and just being like, fire Pagula, she's a terrorist. And like, it's going to be so stupid.
Did you say she? Kim is
sorry.
He said she.
Sorry.
I know we can't assume people's gender in 2025, but I'm going to guess Pagula's a he.
Well, because his name is Kim. It's Kim Pagula, isn't it? Yeah. And I think I thought it was a woman.
Kim Pagula. Kim Pagula is the wife.
Oh, yeah, okay. I hear she's a big problem, though. See? So she's a big problem, too.
Okay. Everything has to go through her. Any move they make, anything like that.
Right. So he's got it right. Yeah. It's her.
You do your job.
They got two figureheads.
Yeah. So it's a hot mess, dude. Like, I don't know. But I'm definitely adding them there.
It's a different kind of mess, but yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, that's fair. 14 years without making the playoffs. I mean, right? What was that?
Sorry.
I just want to say wide escape.
Solemn music for Buffalo.
I accidentally clicked the wrong Buffalo.
Dude, no, I mean, let's touch on New York, and then we'll touch on the Boston. And actually, we'll also touch base on the JT Miller and Elias Pettersson thing, because not much has come out about that, except there's a huge issue with them. So maybe that's all that needs to be said on it. But New York, dude, Drury, he's got to go. He's gonna hurt that team's morale, and he's gonna.
He already has, dude. Like
anything.
Nobody wants to play there. Like, I mean, come on. Like the fact that he basically threatens to like waive guys if they don't like waive their clauses and shit like that. Like that's ridiculous.
I told you guys in the chat. It all started last year with the Goudreau. I mean, the Barkley Goudreau crap, and it all went. It's been down the shitter for them since. They're not making playoffs this year. The Rangers just all hate their GM.
I've seen a couple of stories out there saying, and maybe it was even Spitting Chicklets. I saw a video where saying that it's the coach and the GM have to go over there.
Oh, there's no doubt that Laviolette needs to go.
So it's a case of both of them.
He is a definition of a short-term fix. He needs to retire, man.
I agree with that. No, I do.
He all time. Listen, won a Stanley Cup. All to him. I love Lavi for what he did here, but the game's he's such a short-term fix. Everywhere he's gone the last few years, he's good for a year, maybe two, and then it all goes to shit. And it's
let me ask you guys a question. Is there enough time in the season for them to do that now, or that's an off-season thing?
He's going to be an off-season thing.
It's going to be an off-season thing. Yeah.
That won't help them. I mean, they're at the bottom of the league. Maybe go with that and get a good draft pick. Not a bad thing.
Do you guys think that when Arthur Kalev got the call from his agent just saying you were claimed by the New York Rangers, he just went, fuck?
1,000%.
He probably was just like, can we say no? Like he's like, can we just be like, can we decline?
I decline.
Like, could you imagine? He's just like, fuck me, dude. Like, why am I going to that?
His agent said New York claimed you. Oh, the Islanders? No, the Rangers. Son of a
I don't wanna.
Don't you also kind of think the same thing with Trouba when he got traded to Anaheim?
No, I think he was just like, at least
should have been better.
He's probably just like, at least it's a fresh start somewhere. At least there's like, decent weather in California.
I don't know. You went from a team that was in a playoff spot to a team that's right at the bottom of the league. I don't know.
I don't know, but at least Anaheim doesn't treat their players like, non-humans. Like,
no, it's not. I don't know about that. The coach kind of does, apparently.
Yeah, he
went to a bad coach.
I don't know. Be careful if the coach is going to talk to Trouba that way, because Trouba's elbow is known to fly. He's got fucking chicken wings, buddy. So like that guy
do a Superman fly at him.
Yeah. The only thing they got going for him is Trouba isn't the captain anymore. That's Dad Kogutis. That's it.
Yeah, weird selection, by the way. That was a weird selection.
I would have thought Troy Terry about him being the GM.
I would have thought Troy Terry. I would have thought Troy Terry or Zegers.
Terry's a good joke. I like that.
Yeah,
I thought maybe Strome would have been a better choice.
Maybe
doesn't
Ryan,
it tell you about a little bit about what's wrong over in Anaheim that they named Gudas as the captain?
Yeah, the guy that held the leaf stick to get the game-winning goal. That was bad, man. I can't believe the refs didn't see that. It held the leaf stick and prevented a play.
But Rick and I care.
Oh, I know. And when he went into Wall's face, it went right in his face. Remember that?
That was such a great meme.
I mean, come on. And anyways, that tells you something about the team.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's that they would name him captain.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to round out. I really don't, but whatever.
We'll see if he's there next year.
Let's touch on Boston real quick, because at least like Jones and Keefe went on, and we talked about it last night on Hibernation.
Who's Jones and Keefe? Because I have no idea who they are. So
they're on sports radio here.
Yeah, they're two radio hosts, and Vogel has a point. Like, yeah, he's reliable with contract information, but when it comes to like drama, and like Jones and Keefe clap back to like I think it was yesterday or like earlier today, they clap back at Marchand and he just goes, "Oh right, I'm lying." I'm just like. And Vogel had a point where Marchand and Pasternak kind of like over exaggerated their responses in a way where they're like, oh, their wives were posting on Instagram, the Bruins were posting. It's like they're like making it obvious that they're hiding something. Right. And I don't think anyone's going to deny that there is likely a locker room issue in Boston. I will agree that I think there is something in the locker room, and I think it's actually centered around. I think it's more centered around McAvoy and Zadorov. I think that's where the problem is. McAvoy's getting a lot of flack. Zadorov is responsible for half the penalties that the Bruins have taken this season.
I think he still has a sizable lead in the league in general. Like and
Kostelik's right behind him, but it's because of fighting majors. That's the only reason why Kostelik is right behind him. Like or Kastelik. I don't know why I keep saying Kostelik. It's just maybe me. So I don't know. But
either way, I think you're probably right. Most people would say it one way or the other.
Yeah, some puns probably saying Gastelic or Kastelic, whatever. But like
that's for Alex to do.
Yeah, but
look in the mirror, Rick.
But there is a problem, I think, in the Bruins locker room. Is it centered around Pasta and Marchand? I sincerely doubt it. Like the way they're making it seem, and the Marchand's response I think was perfect because he clapped back and he just goes, "It's really sad that they have to it's really sad that they have to try to tear apart two good friends." And I brought up to Vogel that these guys lost together in 2019. They had a great season in 2022, 2023. It just didn't end, obviously, that everyone in Boston would have hoped. But, you look at these guys that have been through the shit together, and it's just hard to believe that these two are having issues. I don't think that's the case. I think it's around somebody else, and I would bet it's McAvoy and Zadorov. Probably Zadorov because he's hurt the team more than not.
I want to ask a question. Well, two questions, actually. Number one, what do you think of Marchand's captaincy so far as a whole? Do you think he's been the leader that Bergeron – no one can be the leader that Bergeron was, but do you think he has been the same type of example that Bergeron was? And number two, do you think a guy like Patrice Bergeron, who's well-liked throughout the league by everyone, probably arguably the most liked guy in the entire NHL, I don't care who you root for, do you think a guy like Patrice Bergeron may have been keeping the glue together in this, and when he left, the chinks in the armor started appearing? Do you think this has maybe been more than a one-year thing?
No, I think it's been an issue with some of the people that maybe Sweeney brought in. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think that I think his leadership is fine. I think you see him every night leading by example on the ice. We're not in the locker room, so it's hard to tell. You see him in the practices. He's like, all right, guys, group hug. Let's get it all together. Let's figure it out. We're in this together. If you look at the lineage that Chara left behind, it's really hard to think that, a guy like Marchand, and obviously, you see a guy like Bergeron who learned under a guy like Chara, again, one of probably the best captains that played in the NHL and was able to bring people together, just who he is as an individual. I find it hard to believe that Marchand is not the leader that he needs to be. Where I think the problem could stem from, though, are where the alternate captains lie. Is Pastrnak, that leader in the locker room, or did they give him the A because he's your star, right? Look at Edmonton. They gave McDavid the captaincy in his first year. Could it reside under McAvoy, who also has the A and who's not playing up to his contract value currently? That I would look at the A's, not at the C. And I understand it's the job of the captain, and we can argue this back and forth and say, well, it's his job to also wrap everyone in. But then you also have to look at it's not just him. It's the coach. It's the GM. There needs to be total buy-in. So it's a multifaceted approach.
I think you're seeing Sweeney's last year as the GM. I think
100. Yeah. If Sweeney isn't fired.
Off season.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to give him a year. If they make the playoffs, maybe he can talk his way into another year. But I've said it already. I think they're realistically going to miss.
I think that Wahlstrom move was to just try and save his bacon.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. How's that work out for him?
Actually, a lot of people have an issue with Wahlstrom. I'm giving the guy an opportunity because, one, he came in the middle of the season. He's learning the system. He just scored his first goal. I want to see how he responds to that. He's been in and around the net. He's been fighting in the offensive zone. You just don't hear his name because he's not getting on the scoreboard.
Listen, if you're blaming a waiver claim for your team's issues right now, the issues stem far worse than that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think it's that Wahlstrom isn't working out, because look at a guy like Trent Frederick, who every year for the last 3 or 4 years has actually made steady progression. He's regressed.
Future flyer Trent Frederick, that is.
Not happening.
Mark
anyway.
that
a lot of people want Freddie on the trading block, but no. I'm not saying Wahlstrom himself, but I think a lot of the issues are, you went and claimed him when you have guys like Mark and Lysell down in Providence, and it's like,
and they're tearing it up right now.
They're tearing it up, and it's like at this point, mentally they're probably like, yeah, I'm never gonna get my break here. Like I gotta get. I
actually love that point that you brought up, and it was something that Ty Anderson even said that.
Yeah, it was a really good listen, and I agree with him 1,000%. Like
they could be mentally checked out, and I'm just like, this is what happens when you don't give the kids a chance. They called Lysell up for one fucking game, and I'm like, I thought Lysell played well in that game. Give him more of a look. Like give. I
don't know why Patrick's still down in Providence either.
Oh, he's an animal down there, dude.
But that's what I mean. Like there's a lot of mismanagement from Sweeney with those younger guys. I don't know if he just doesn't.
I agree.
If he just doesn't want to call them up to have younger guys in the lineup or what, but yeah, I mean that's really the issue. It wasn't so much. It really wasn't Wahlstrom himself, but it's like, why are you going to go claim him when you have these young studs in the minors that are waiting to break out at the NHL level? It's like
I think the issue in the locker room is being caused by Don Sweeney. And I think that's being more evident. I mean, you sign a guy like Max Jones, who is probably a bottom 6 guy at this stage because he showed promise, but I think Anaheim ruined him and he could have had an impact there. But he's also doing well in Providence, and people are wondering when he's going to get a call up. I'm just like, there's probably a reason why they haven't, and they're trying to keep him away from the locker room. There's definitely stuff. You sign a guy like Tyler Johnson to the lineup, and look, he played 9 games, and like that's it. He's given up on these guys. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I think Sweeney is part of the problem, or actually, I would say Sweeney is the problem.
Sweeney is your problem.
Without a doubt. If not, again, I don't think he's the full problem, but he's got like 85-90% of the blame. Because again, right, like you go out and sign these veterans when again you have guys like Merrick and Lysell and Patra and Providence who can hang at the NHL level, but when you only give them a game at a time,
exactly. How can you say that they're
every couple of months?
Developing?
Like, what are you doing? Like, you need, especially with how bare the prospect pool is, you need these guys to develop on the fly.
And
so you have something to retool around when the time comes.
To add to that, the AHL, people could say, like, yeah, develop. I'm like, develop what for the most part? Like, you know what I mean? The AHL is never going to give you an NHL look. You know what I mean? Like,
no, and Merrick, I think, is 24 now? It's like he's kind of done all he can down there. Like, Lysell's 22? Like, he's getting to the point where he can't, he's done everything he can down there and needs a shot. And like I said, if they don't, at this point, those 2 guys in particular, would be like, well, if we're only getting like a game every couple of months, like I want to get to a team where they're gonna call me up and play me in the lineup with, And I don't know if it's just a Sweeney thing where he just doesn't want to bring up young kids, or younger talent, and just kind of Band-Aid over things. But again, that's another reason why he's got to go because, again, the Bruins are at a point where you need to start bringing those guys up and letting them develop at the NHL level. Otherwise, you're in trouble in the long haul. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the guys on the roster aren't getting any younger, and
you got to
you need pieces there to retool around.
Yeah,
I think Lysell will get his full-time bid at the deadline because I think the Bruins are going to move at least 1 or 2 bodies.
They're going to probably move Coyle and they're going to move Frederick. Those are the 2.
Coyle would be surprising. I can understand.
You get Potts in the AHL. Why not move him?
Yeah, you gotta. He's the guy that has the modified no movement clause right now, and the other 2 guys I don't see moving. They're not going to move Carlo. They're not going to move a lot of the other guys that have NMCs or modified.
So that makes sense on Frederick. That's the guy that's going to replace him.
Yeah, they're not going to move. They're not going to move Geekie because Geekie's younger and he's showing promise and he's a good right winger. So I mean, realistically, you do have Patra down in Providence who's absolutely killing it. So. Coyle is the logical option, and he'll clear you $5.25 million in cap. Frederick will clear you $2.3 million in cap, and that's when you can make a reasonable move, and you get Patra and Lysell up here, and then the Bruins get draft capital in return. And I think that's probably what you're going to see, depending where they are in the standings.
I'm telling you,
that's what they need to do.
Can I throw another thing in there?
Because
you think it's possible? It's possible that the reason he's making some of his decisions, Sweeney, about Lysell and Merkel and all that, is that he knows the window's closing, and they feel that they got to win this year. That's why they're trying to bring in guys like Wahlstrom who have more NHL experience.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, but I forgot where I was going to go with what I was going to say, but yeah, I think that's a possibility. I think he knows that, and there was a rumor, before preseason ended, that Marchand had to say that Lysell wasn't going to play because he didn't like the way Lysell played, and so, or Montgomery had a huge say in that, and I would believe that too. But I'm just like, you shouldn't discredit these players. So I don't know. And actually, I remember now. So, and you can easily get a 1st-round pick for Charlie Coyle. The guy is
I agree with that.
You can easily get a 1st-round pick for Charlie
Coyle. Yeah,
I absolutely agree with that.
You could get a borderline. You could get a borderline 1st-round pick for Trent Frederick if the need for the center market increases.
I think Frederick. It all depends because you got a Lawton out there, you got a Ryan O'Reilly out there. There's going to be a few names that are going to probably be ahead of him. So it really
Nashville's not going to get rid of O'Reilly.
Oh, you'd be surprised with if they fall far enough,
You're not going to see it. Barry Trotz would have pulled the trigger with how he's trying to overhaul the roster right now.
I think I could see Ryan O'Reilly get moved. He was on Elliot Friedman's big board. So the Daily Faceoff big board. I'm sorry, not Elliot Friedman's. The Daily Faceoff top 25 big board. I don't know specifically where he was. Scott Lawton's a number one center, it sounds like, in the trade market right now. So I don't know. But I know Ryan O'Reilly is definitely gaining some attention.
At worst, you can get a second and a third for Frederick.
I could see a second for Frederick. I could maybe see a first if the trade market is set at a little bit higher of a level than usual and teams start to overpay because there's so many teams involved and not as many suitors. So between you and me, I think Lawton to the Leafs is going to happen. So if he ends up going there, O'Reilly and Frederick could be the next names you hear. So maybe.
All right. Well, all right, guys, that'll do it for the problems in the locker room. Why don't we just quickly go through our second half predictions for let's just do we'll do the trophies and we'll do. I don't know if we should do the stand. I don't think we should do the standings.
Let's just do trophies. We'll do standings next week.
I wasn't thinking of standings.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, for tonight, we're going to discuss the Hart, the Vezina, the Richard, the Jack Adams, the Selke, and the Calder.
And the president's president's trophy.
Why don't we? No, because I don't know. Let's leave that to next week. We'll touch base on that next week. Because I feel like that'll be a really.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be a really good time to be like.
That's
fair.
I
feel like this is where everyone is, and
that's fine. Fair enough.
Damn, he said it's fair.
Fair enough. Shut up now.
Where the fuck is it? Where is it?
You suck.
All right. So how we doing this?
Nerd alert. Anyway, I love that freaking button. Alex, why don't we go trophy by trophy? Why don't we start with Alex on the Hart?
Okay. So for the Hart, I have Nathan MacKinnon. Leads the league in points right now by a handful. I would have had Kaprizov if he didn't get hurt, but unfortunately, he's been dealing with an injury the last couple of weeks. So I think that pretty much has killed his shot. I think the only other guys that really have a shot in my eyes right now is either Cale Makar or Connor Hellebuck. They both have had superb years, but I think Nathan MacKinnon right now is definitely the lead dog. If you want my three Hart Trophy finalists at this moment, it's those three where Kaprizov, if he comes back quick enough, gets an honorable mention. But if not, then it's probably just those three.
Okay. Nordy, who do you have for the Hart?
Yeah, I'm with Alex there. I have McKinnon right now. Do you think Leon Draisaitl will put in a good challenge on him? And I like the Hellebuck shout as well. But yeah, I think McKinnon's kind of got it on lock for the moment. But I think Draisaitl will be in there at the end as well. Be one of those two.
Yeah.
Rick, I'm just gonna go real quick because I'm gonna echo exactly what Matt said and Alex, just because Hellebuck's a good shout. I'm gonna agree with him. I have McKinnon because just for the last 3 years, McKinnon's been the heart and soul of the Avalanche, and it's hard to believe that he only won one Hart Trophy. So right now, for me, he's the lead. And outside of Mikko Rantanen and Cale Makar, McKinnon is the league's. I don't know. It's just watching him skate and everything like that, man. It's just it's a spectacle. So that's it.
I've also got McKinnon. I won't say any more than what you guys have said, but just to say for Hellebuck, as a goalie, it's a little harder to get.
I agree
to win it. So I think McKinnon.
100% agree with you guys. Let's move on to the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy. I'll lead off with this one. Right now the goals leader is Draisaitl, and he is on a effing tear. I think he continues pace, and I think I don't want to say he runs away with it and steals it. It might be close, but that's who I got. Let's go to Rick.
Yeah, me too. Draisaitl. Just look at if we're at the halfway mark, right? So if you double the guys that are, he's got 31, so that's 62. The other guys end up at like 50, a little over 50. So it's a good lead, and unless he gets injured, I don't see that changing. So Draisaitl.
No, I agree. Draisaitl.
Oh, okay. Matt agrees with Draisaitl. Alex.
Yeah, Draisaitl, same here. And like Rick said, barring injury, I don't see him losing it.
Woo! Hey guys, we have 2 sweeps in a row.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Let's go to the Selkie because there's 2 trophies I actually want to save for last. And I think it's 2 exciting ones. So let's go to the Selkie. Let's start with Rick.
Okay, I saw somebody said Barkov. That's as good. But for me, I put Nick Suzuki, but not to win it. I think this year Nick Suzuki moves up in that, and he's going to finish in the top 5 in the Selkie. Other than that, probably Barkov again. I couldn't think of anybody, so that's what I got.
Alex.
I have it being a back and forth between I'm kind of at a coin flip right now between Barkov and the Ageless Wonder. I'd say Kopitar. I think Kopitar's been sensational this year. I'm going to still lean Barkov right now, but I'm not ruling Kopitar out for making a push for it.
That's fair.
Okay, so Kopitar. All right, that's not bad. Matt.
I mean, it's hard to pick against Barkov and obviously a guy like Kopitar. They always seem to be there. Again, looking at like plus minuses right now. I mean, I know a lot of these are due to just flat out points, but maybe Draisaitl gets a shout. But yeah, I think it's really between Barkov and Kopitar. But I think it's Barkov's to lose.
I'm gonna say Barkov. So don't I. I mean, right now he is at a 61% face-off percentage, and I think that's what's gonna set him over.
Ridiculous.
If that's gonna be a tiebreaker, I mean, he's running away with it. He murked Boston, and you're going up against a guy like Elias Lindholm, who's also a good face-off guy, and Coyle, who's a good face-off guy. So I mean, Barkov is just I think he'll get his second, or this would be his third.
Yeah. I think he's had more than one.
61%. That's prime Bergeron and Giroux face-off numbers.
Yeah.
61% is crazy.
Giroux's second in the league right now. He's at like 60 and change. 60.1, I think.
I like Giroux. I like Giroux for a shout.
I'll leave it at that because I don't want to hear Cam say and do the fucking jerk-off bullshit.
He did. I mean,
I lied. 60.7.
Get his cock out of your mouth. No, I like Giroux as a good shout. I don't think he'll win it, but I mean, Giroux is a very talented player. He deserves a lot of praise. No, he's not, but you got to give credit where credit's due sometimes, and I think that's me giving him that credit. There you go. In
terms of aging well, he's Anze Kopitar light. I think it's a good way to put it.
Yeah. You said in terms of aging well?
Yes.
Sure.
He's Anze Kopitar light.
Yeah. Let's go to the Vezina, and let's start with
Connor Hellebuck. I don't think there's a debate.
Sure.
I think Hellebuck's running away with it right now, unless he has like a 5-game stretch where he
also
wait
a second. Also, his poor performance in the playoffs last year, I think that's got him super freaking motivated.
Yeah.
100%. Oh yeah.
Wait, so is there any
on the ground like last year either? That was a big thing. They started this guy a ridiculous amount of games last year.
So is there anyone who doesn't have Hellebuck?
I think we all do.
Wow, that's crazy.
Another sweep.
Connor Hellebuck, Vezina winner. All right, guys, let's go to, and I forgot to mention that we will also do this one. We'll do the Norris Trophy. For me, it is Quinn Hughes. He's there. He's good. A good shutout. It would likely be a very, very tight, close second. I'll say Cale Makar.
Look at the points. Look at his points. And it's 5 games less, I think, than Makar. And he's just like a point behind or something like that. He's gonna be the guy.
I think it does end up being Quinn Hughes, but it'll be very, very, very tight.
Maybe, but
2 points behind right now. I just took a look at it. But
it's
still good guess. I still have Makar. I mean, don't get me wrong. Quinn Hughes is a friggin' stud. I think that would probably be my second pick. But Cale Makar, he has just been an absolute offensive dynamo. He's a lockdown two-way defenseman. In my opinion, he's still the best defenseman in the league. Quinn Hughes being a close second, so it's not a knock on Quinn Hughes. I think those are your top 2 guys, but I got to go Makar, then Hughes, and then I'm going to give you a number 3 choice that might come out of left field, and that's Dougie Hamilton. I think he's had a nice rebound.
No, not even close. I don't think he touches it.
I didn't see him anywhere close.
I don't even think he sniffs it.
No.
I don't.
That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, that's like.
Actually, no. You know what? Let me rephrase that. Zach Werenski. I'm sorry, Zach Werenski.
I'll give you.
Werenski has a shot.
Werenski has been sensational this year. He has turned around. He's finally healthy. He's probably been the driving force of that Columbus team. So Werenski.
Sure.
I got to throw Dougie Hamilton out of that. Zach Werenski. I'm sorry.
And I'm assuming Matt is Cale Makar.
Yeah, but I also agree, Cam. Like it's really a toss up between him and Hughes. I mean, it really is. Like it's a flip of the coin.
Yeah, I agree with that, Rick.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes, cool guys. This is the fun one. I think it'll be. Let's go to the Jack Adams.
Build up.
It's no question for me. It's Spencer Carberry. It's not even a debate in my mind. What he's done with the Capitals and where they are in the standings.
Yeah.
I just find it difficult to argue that. It's really hard. You could make an argument for maybe one other coach, but just seeing what he's done with that team where we all thought they were going to be bottom of the Metro, bottom of the East. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal.
He's a modern day coach, and I've been saying this for a little while, especially since we got one. That I think that's what's needed if you want to be competitive or be a contending team. You can't have a Lindy Ruff. You can't have those kind of guys. Joe Sacco, if you want me to say, you got to go with a more modern, a younger guy, a modern day coach. And that's what that guy is, and it's Spencer Carberry for me too.
I'm going to be out a little bit out of left field. I had Sheldon Keefe. I know it's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, my God.
Now, hear me out.
You suck.
Hear me out. New Jersey, hear me out. Hear me out.
Retard alert.
Shit last year. Now, mind you, goaltending has been a big reason to why they've been better. You know, when you finally have a stable guy like Markstrom in net, who has been sensational this year for them. In my opinion, top 10, maybe even arguing top 5 goalie this year. But they're scoring at a better pace. Jesper Bratt has taken another step. Sheldon Keefe has implemented that offensive system with all the talent they have in their top 6 and it's flourished. Jack Hughes has been fantastic.
Jesper Bratt's been on a fucking tear, dude.
Yeah.
He's been clutch for both of my fantasy hockey teams, dude.
Jesper Bratt.
He has been so good.
If you give an idiot a great team, he's going to...
He is given, and listen, New Jersey, if people forget, they were like 7th in the division last year. But
guys,
Alex,
with 2 of your bold takes, I'm going to have to give you your diploma for bold takes of the night. Congratulations. You have graduated Sped University.
Bold picks, not correct. Bold ones.
Look who's talking, Mr. Elias Lindholm, still a good contract.
No, buddy, Mr. Okay, Dougie Hamilton's going to touch the Norris Trophy this year.
Listen,
that's what I think of his. That's what I think of his bold picks.
And Sheldon Keefe as the Jack Adams Award winner.
Keefe is not a bad pick.
That's a jackass, you were going to say.
Shut up and take your diploma.
Listen, has New Jersey not taken a massive step forward from last year?
I wouldn't call it massive.
But that was so easy to predict.
New Jersey was also decimated with injuries last year.
Last year.
But it was so easy to predict.
I agree. But they've been so much better offensively. And I even acknowledge the goaltending is a big part of it too. They didn't have a stable number 1 goalie, which they have now in Markstrom now, which I called at the beginning of the year was going to be a big thing for them. And, you know, they are just, he is implementing the system, and they look like an elite offensive team.
But is that from Keefe, though? Like, look what he did with the Maple Leafs. I would attribute that.
You can't really blame Keefe a lot for what was going on.
Michelle Terrier was coach in New Jersey. They'd be good.
But no, I think we all predicted the Devils to finish probably second in that division going into this year because they were going to be healthy. Because
fucking Claude Julien
Markstrom.
Fucking Claude Julien was the coach in New Jersey. They'd still score 4 goals a game. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if Lindy Ruff was coaching in New Jersey, they'd be winning.
What Lindy was a coach in New Jersey, they'd be praying to win games 2-1. Let's be honest here. But that's my bold take. Sheldon Keefe, I think he's done a sensational job. That team has taken a step forward. I'm going to shove that soundtrack up your ass. I'd like to be different, and that's my pick.
Well, that's what your degree is in, being different.
Well, listen, at least I can acknowledge when I make a mistake, like I did with Dougie Hamilton. Did he acknowledge the Wiseland holding the crap sandwich contract? No.
He's going crazy. Look at him.
Crap sandwich contract.
The last trophy we're going to talk about, because I'm sick and tired of hearing Alex talking, but this one's going to get him talking a little bit, is the Calder Trophy.
Calder Trophy. I want to go first. Go ahead,
Rick. Go first.
It's going to Lane Hudson or Celebrini. Here's the reason why. Hudson currently has the lead in points. He's a defenseman. Those guys now are chasing him. And if he can at least stay either ahead of them or just behind them, he's winning it. And Celebrini right now is basically a point a game. If he can keep up a pace like that or close, I think they get it over Michkov. Michkov third. Go ahead, Alex.
I have Celebrini right now. I think the top three are pretty much locked in. Dustin might sniff it, but I go here's my prediction. If you're asking me today, I'd go Celebrini, Hudson, Michkov today. What do I think it's going to be at the end of the year? Celebrini, Michkov, Hudson. All three of these guys have gone on a little bit of a run at some point. Hudson is yet to have that. I think he's going to find a spot where he slows down a little bit.
19 games, 19 points. That's a run.
Right now. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying at some point I think he's going to hit a run. That's all.
Oh, a run.
I thought you said a
run. I thought you said run. A run. You
right.
Said run.
I said right, as in no struggle.
I don't agree with that with Hudson, though.
At the end of the year, not now, will be Celebrini, Michkov, Hudson in that order.
I think you're wrong in that Hudson will I don't think he'll hit a rut. And I think this guy could play 82 games, and he's not going to have a problem with it. Honestly, I think Hudson, he looks like he could play every day of the week. He just looks like that kind of kid. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't. I think you're wrong on Hudson. He's not going to fade, where I think your guy's going to fade a little bit, and I do think Celebrini.
He already faded. He's finding his game again.
Right. No, okay, but I mean overall, and I think Celebrini will fade a little bit too, but I don't think Hudson will.
I think Celebrini has hit a little bit of a rut actually recently. He's only got like 2 points in his last 6 or 7 games. So he may have already been hitting his now.
Matt, who's your pick?
You know his pick.
He knows who to say, or else he's off. Just joking. It's Matt. If he doesn't say Lane Hudson, I'm going down to Massachusetts and kick his ass myself.
Come on, Matt.
Go ahead, Matt.
You know he's going to say Hudson.
We're rooting for you, Matt. His microphone's off. You don't know his microphone's off. He's probably talking. Okay, his microphone's off. I'll say it. Hey, I was just at my car. It's Lane Hudson.
Oh, that was such an awful Boston impersonation.
Oh my God, dude! What even was that?
So at the car.
I think I just.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize my mic was muted. I apologize.
I answered for you, Lane Hudson.
No, I do have Lane Hudson. The graphic that blew me away was, the graphic. It's him being only the third defenseman ever to lead rookie scoring at the halfway point of the year. You might know the other two defensemen that did it, Nick Lidstrom and Bobby Orr. That's incredible to me. And I think he's also very good defensively. And he's gotten better every game. And go watch if you want further in-depth analysis. The hockey guy released his Calder video the other day, and basically kind of agreed with Rick and I. It's a 2-horse race right now. And the system Torts is playing, would that put Michkov in a spot where he could catch up to Celebrini and Hudson? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But I think right now it's a 2-horse race between Celebrini and Hudson.
The third horse ain't as far behind as you think. It's not like Michkov has gone missing. He's got 30.
He's not currently. I'll give you that. He's not currently. He's right in there. There's no doubt. And I think it'll be close still. I don't think he's going to be way off, but I think he's going to be in third.
Guess we'll see.
We will, and that's what it's all about, because the games are played on the fucking ice, man.
Didn't he actually just get demoted to the third line?
He's been going second and third line.
Did he?
Yesterday's game he was playing the third line. or whatever the last game was.
Time is pretty much even for everyone outside of
because I hadn't read anything like that. I didn't mean to.
You still get the last couple games. He's been fantastic tonight. He's been robbed twice on a goal. He honestly should easily have 2 goals tonight, but he got robbed twice.
So that means in Alex's mind, he scored 2 goals.
No, I didn't say he scored. He could have easily had 2 goals, but Bobrovsky has decided to play like prime Bobrovsky tonight. Because of course he has. Flyers have actually dominated Florida. They're just not scoring.
It's too bad.
Florida has 14 shots.
I hear crickets. What do
I do too. Cam, your thoughts on the Calder race?
Oh my God, I actually get to go. Holy!
Yeah, I forgot you didn't go. Go ahead, Cam. I won't stop. I won't let you stop. I'll stop talking because I know when I should stop talking. I'll give you an opportunity. I know when I'm supposed to stop, and I will stop.
Shut up, Rick, and let him speak.
Oh my God, fellas. Jeez, crow. You guys are absolutely crazy tonight. And I someone highlighted them. Are you guys
let's get ready to rumble.
I didn't mean to do that.
Fine.
I do that.
I have Macklin Celebrini. I think it'll be close.
Fuck off.
I get muted.
I absolutely just you're in timeout.
Why did I get muted? I didn't even hit the button.
I have Celebrini. However, I do think it is going to be close between him and Lane Hudson, and it's for all the reasons Matt had just said, and it's because the only other 2 defensemen that I've ever done it was because of Bobby Orr and Nick Lidstrom, and just watching Lane Hudson play. So I think I'm going to give a ton of credit to Lane Hudson. I didn't think he was going to be this close, but he is damn near proving me wrong. And so I'm not saying I'm rooting for the guy because I really love watching Celebrini play. I think he gets it, but it's going to be slim.
Can I say one last thing as someone who actually saw Bobby Orr play? Not in video, but I saw him play on TV.
They had TVs back in the Stone Age, Rick?
Yes, they did. Hudson, while not in style, reminds me a lot of Bobby Orr in the way he carries the puck, the way he keeps the puck, the way he just can't at times get the puck from him. And his determination, that was Bobby Orr. So he has that in him. I believe Lane Hudson is going to be a great player, maybe one of the great ones in the end of his career. I think he's going to win the call. I don't think he's going to slow down. That's the thing. I don't think he's going to slow down. So he's got 32 now. He's going to have 60, 65 points.
33, I think.
Right. So those
33.
guys, Michkov or Celebrini, needs to have 70 plus or around 70 to beat Hudson because they'll have to have more points than him.
Celebrini
that's going to happen.
Celebrini is going to reach that.
Here's the thing: how many secondary assists did he have? I'm not taking it away.
It's not going to be done on that.
Fuck.
It's not going to be. It's not. That's. Look at the way he plays.
I think it's still split 50-50 too.
I'm giving him his flowers.
He dominates out there. Could Celebrini?
There's a lot of secondary assists.
Does Michkov and Celebrini dominate when they're on the ice?
Yeah, actually, they do.
Do they?
Yes.
They dominate.
Yes, Celebrini, 100%.
I haven't watched him play, so I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've watched Michkov now 4 or 5 times. He has not dominated.
You have. I don't know what it is, but whenever you watch, he seems like he plays bad.
Well, if it was once or twice, okay. I've seen him 4 or 5 times. He has not done anything. I don't think he has a point in those games. So it's not dominating.
The rookie leading goals.
I think I'm done now, though. I can't think of any other insults.
All right, guys. Great debate.
Corners, to your corners.
Oh, by the way,
to your corners, fellas.
Right on that was Morgan Frost. And Michkov tapped it to Frost. Son of a bitch. That would have been so perfect.
I wish I had a whistle. To your corners.
Michkov literally, I thought, just scored right on cue. That would have been perfect. I think he got an assist, though.
To your corners. To your corners.
All right, Cam, lead us out.
Let's get out of here, guys. Let's get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for episode 54 of the Pucking Around podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We absolutely love and adore the support. Go check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple
podcasts. We also have our website, don'tpuckwithmedia.com. That is don'tpuckwithmedia.com. There's no apostrophe in don't. It is just DONT followed by puckwithmedia.com.
I didn't know that.
Go check us out. We have weekly blogs written by all of us here about any hockey topic. You can also connect with us through our website by not only subscribing, or you can send us a direct message to our email through the website. Your emails are kept confidential through GoDaddy.com, so we do not see that. We are only able to respond to you. You do not need to subscribe to send us a message, but also let us know what you guys think down in the comments section below. And if you guys are not watching us on YouTube, shoot us the message. Let us know what you guys think. What topics do you want to hear? We love to hear from you, and we'll take everything into consideration. Hell, some of your comments might even be featured on a future episode. But with that, guys, thank you so much. We are out of here.
Alex has his hand up.